Greetings, fellow Jedi Knights. Tiki here,
And BlueDragonFive.
and tonight we're talking Mr. Banks. Oh yes, oh yes. Blue Dragon 5, we didn't do anything tonight, did we? I mean, we just kind of just sat around, you know, maybe marathon some Daredevil, something like that, you know. Didn't really have anything productive going on, have anything exciting going on tonight at all whatsoever, right?
No, not really. Nothing really.
Yeah, it's just a dull evening. Just a dull evening, so we're just gonna come here and shoot. No, we saw Star Wars. We just saw Star Wars, man. We just, to quote the guy who's going into the theater in the George Lucas document, Star Wars. We're gonna see Star Wars.
You know, I joked going with all the hype around this movie, and I think I have a little funny story about this. I've been joking with people I knew that, you know, people are going to be so full of enthusiasm and hype for this movie. You can just walk up to someone and say, Star Wars, Star Wars, as a greeting. And a guy who I knew he was randomly surprised me at the premiere. And he's walked up to me and he said, Star Wars? And I responded, Star Wars. It was him. And by the end of the movie, we were all going the same thing to each other, Star Wars, Star Wars.
It's funny you say that because I had pretty much the exact same thing in line. Like, there were like 4 different lines. It was crazy. There was like a line for the 7 o'clock showings, line for the 8 o'clock showings, and then
such
for the
camaraderie. Like, I was talking to a guy in a 7 o'clock line who I knew also, and you know, we just I got into so many in-depth Star Wars prequel conversations.
I'm with you. I'm with you. It was great. It was like everyone around you was just like,
I was
hey.
Because I got there 3 hours early, which, by the way, folks, seems to be a helpful time to show up to a thing, especially if it's the second feature. You get there; it's perfect time to get there, so you get your seats and everything.
Well, I think I probably could have shown up. I showed up about an hour and a half early. I think I could have shown up even later than that, and I would have gotten a seat. My theater wasn't really that crowded because I saw a 3D show. I mean, don't get me wrong; my theater was packed. But there were empty seats available, and therefore I consider it not crowded.
I had a Phantom Menace crowd. There were people dressed up, you know. Basically, I guess the thing is now that everyone can dress up as long as they don't wear something over their face, which everyone was dressed.
There were a lot more costumes than I was expecting. I saw a Qui-Gon Jinn.
But you got to tell you, it made me very pleased and just filled my heart with hope and joy. It really did. Just I saw so many Rays. I saw some Finn. I saw
a lady with a really perfect like Leia buns hairdo.
I saw like 3 Chewbacca's.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
You know, it fills me with such joy to see people. There was an Obi-Wan in the front row during the thing. He had a lightsaber that lit up.
Of course, he had a lightsaber. Did he just sneak that past security?
Well, I mean, it was like pretty. Like people had, like the kids had, like to the plastic lightsabers, but I mean, the light up ones, like obviously you can't protract or anything. So it's. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess a lightsaber is just so non-threatening in actual life. Bear in mind.
Well, yeah, obviously.
It's just like so non-threatening and beloved. It's like, come on, go ahead.
Right. I mean, you have to be that way. You have to be that way.
Yeah, but also, we should probably talk about the biggest thing before we kind of get into the movie itself is kind of the being there in the theater beforehand.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I have some.
It was so electric. I mean, getting in there, waiting just the regular trailers. Like everyone knows that, you know, the film, what has to happen for the film to start, you know, the crawl and such. But everyone, just the trailer, there was waiting and waiting because you're there for like 3 hours in my case, just kind of waiting and it's all fine to wait because you're talking to other Star Wars fans, but until that last half an hour feels like a year has passed. You're just waiting.
That last half hour was actually that felt like the longest to me because I was waiting like outside for like an hour and I was like, oh, this is great. But then they let you inside the theater and then you've got an hour to go.
And luckily the guys at my theater were nice. They let us in like after an hour of waiting at the 3 hour mark, so it was good.
But yeah, man, just sitting there and just like, okay, like, you know, you're checking your phone like it's an hour and then you check your phone like shit.
I kept asking one of my buddies every 5 minutes, what time is it? How much time? Give me a countdown.
Right, of course.
And again, so the Obi-Wan in the front row is most notable. Again, he had the light up lightsaber. He's like, come on! At some point. You know, my buddy's yelling at the trio. I was like, we don't want you. He's like, it's yeah,
Oh,
it's
I had some
enjoys.
bad trailers. I'll talk about that. I had a really weak lineup of trailers.
I had nothing but excellent trailers we've all seen before, but still excellent trailers.
Did you get the X-Men one?
I got X-Men, I got Civil War, I got Batman v Superman, I got Zootopia, I got all the trailers.
Yeah, I got Zootopia, which was fine. I liked the Zootopia trailer. That was good. I got the Jungle Book, which is good.
I did not get that one.
And then I got a trailer for this movie where it looks like a really forgettable, like based on a true story type deal from Disney, where it's like, I don't know, like sailors caught in a storm or some shit like that.
I know who you're talking about. We didn't get that one this time around.
That was like the movie that came. That was the trailer that came on before the movie, and I was like, wow, that movie is going to have no relevance in pop culture history except being a trailer that played before the Force Awakens.
I'm surprised like how much variation we had because we literally got all the big trailers. Because we also got.
I really wanted to get Apocalypse. I really wanted that.
Yeah, we got that, but I mean, also we got Kung Fu Panda, a new trailer for Kung Fu Panda.
You know what really pisses me off though is that I specifically waited to watch the Star Trek trailer until I got here, and they didn't play the Star Trek trailer.
Well, I think you'll be let down if you watch that trailer.
Really?
Well, I'm not a big Star Trek fan, but even from what I hear, everyone, including Simon Pegg, kind of agrees with me that it's I really don't have too much vested interest in it, regardless, because the trailer didn't thrill me.
I don't have much vested interest in it either, but still, it's just kind of a big event style movie, and I wanted to save the trailer for Star Wars.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's just everyone's just like on the edge of the seat. The air is electric of people just waiting and waiting. Says, "Come on, Star Wars already! Come on, Obi-Wan Kenobi!" Of all people in the front row. The thing was packed to the rafters. It was a Phantom Menace audience, so people just like completely. It was packed to the rafters. Got there just the right time. And I have a funny story also. I was actually one of my friends and I we were on TV.
Oh no, were you?
I had no idea about it because I was just kind of pleasantries and just waiting and just the electric with Star Wars. But it was apparently a camera guy had come behind us at some point, I guess. And we're in the theater, and my friend he gets a call from his parents says you were on TV. I said, wait, what? He's telling me this when I come back after I gather the rest of the group up, and he's telling me. Well, yeah, my parents go and said we were on TV. Wait, what? Me too? He says, yeah, apparently we were on TV. It's the weirdest thing. And on my way out of the movie, I was like, I waved at the camera guy. He wasn't on. I was just like, oh, yeah, that must be the guy.
Yeah, I didn't see any news crew when I was there, but I'll tell you, when I walked out, the line was just like stretched around the whole goddamn building for like the 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock shows. Oh, man.
Yeah, when I got out of there, I saw a line of people stretched out too.
Okay, so I had a Toy Story moment when I saw this movie. You want to know what that was?
What?
Okay, so, I've talked about the Burger King toys that I collected over the years, the ones for the Revenge of the Sith when they came out.
Yeah.
So I decided to bring a few of those with me, all right? Just for nostalgic purposes. So I brought my little C-3PO along with the R2-D2. And then the Millennium Falcon. Oh, yes. And then here's where the Toy Story moment came into play. Unfortunately, Han Solo is actually one of the ones that I could not find, and that broke my heart. So my choice was either, do I take Princess Leia or do I take Boba Fett? Ooh. I took Boba Fett.
Oh.
But you see how that's a Toy Story moment. It was literally like, oh my God, I'm fucking Andy, and I'm trying to decide what toy I want to bring with me to this thing.
You hurt Princess Leia's feelings.
I know.
I got to tell you, though, in the same situation, I would pick Boba Fett.
Well, yeah, you got to pick Boba Fett.
I wouldn't have a second thought about it. I would instantly go for Boba Fett.
Because I mean, you can't keep R2 and C-3PO apart. You just can't do that. I got to bring both of them.
I think the better question is, where were those props when we were talking about Star Wars?
Yeah. Well,
those would have come in handy so much.
I know.
Okay, let's see. So I was trying to. Oh yeah. So let's get into the big reaction moments. Of course, those big reaction moments would be from the get-go. The moments we speculate upon. The big reaction.
The audience just about freaking orgasmed themselves like 3 times within the first 15 seconds.
Let me see if we have a similar experience here. Let me just tell you, we had clappers. We had people. We were clapping and just going nuts over.
No, it was like a goddamn rock concert, man. It was like people were shouting, people like, yeah, yeah.
I was one of those people. I just
Oh,
so let me tell you this: the initial, just to show you, this movie's off to a great start without having anything just to happen in it. So, beginning, you see these are some minor spoilers. Well, no, they're not really spoilers. They're obvious. So you see the Lucasfilm logo, and everyone's going nuts the minute that, because after like the little movie thing, like putting the concessions, like the emergency exits, finally ended. Like, first of all, we're just gasping of like, just ready for the thing to happen.
It's
of course,
about to start.
That's the thing. It's like we know we have to experience this stuff before the movie starts. Like you have the little logo thing, but we're still waiting just every second. We've forgotten in that moment. I'm one of these guys. There's waiting the minute the lights dim. Okay, it's gonna happen. Nope. Do this thing, and then the minute it goes off, then the Lucasfilm logo goes up. People are clapping. They're going nuts. And then, but the moment I've been hyping in our discussions, just you see Star Wars up close, and it goes back to reverse 3D effect thing. And it's just
the moment for me that really got me was that brief moment in between a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and then seeing that Star Wars logo.
It's like right there is you have a gasp at the long time ago, and then when the Star Wars logo, then it's just nothing but clapping.
Yeah. Then people are just like absolutely every single person in the theater is yelling their lungs out.
There were so many moments myself. I'm one of the people in this audience here. I'm just like, when you have so many gasp moments, there's so many like you're inhaling. It's like I said, the Wake and Say Beauty thing. It's the 1001, 1002 moment so many times throughout this thing.
Oh yeah.
Just the like, did I just see what I thought I saw? Like it does. It's fast. It's fantastic. Okay, so what do we think of the movie?
I definitely think it's obviously leagues and bounds better than the prequels. For right now, I'm keeping my reactions
7 times better than the prequels. I think we can safely say that without spoiling anything.
Yeah. For right now, I'm keeping my reactions in check. I'm not trying to overhype it. I'm not trying to say like, oh my God, greatest blockbuster ever or anything like that. I would probably give it about an 8 out of 10, a solid 8 out of 10. It's not like a perfect movie by any stretch of the imagination. It's not anything I think that's as good as the original trilogy, but it's up there. It's so fucking much more closer than the prequel trilogy that it's ridiculous. It just reams the prequel trilogy irrelevant.
I don't know.
And keep in mind, the original trilogy is a tall order. So I'm saying right now, my reaction was that it was a very fun popcorn movie. It was a very, very well done fan service to Star Wars. It didn't just feel like just fan service for the sake of fan service, like just rehashing A New Hope. But it felt like just a genuine continuation of the story. But, like I said, I do have a few issues with it, which we will get into. I have a few things that I think they could have done a little bit better. But, overall, I'm very satisfied with it.
Well, again, without going into details, I think on the surface, at least at the moment, I give it a 9 out of 10.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, don't worry. I mean, yeah, there are a few things that you might have to
obviously, both of us are going to watch it again, so.
Of course. Probably when it dies down a little bit in terms of the hype, which could be next year.
Right. That's the thing with me. I just, like, the hype is at such a fever pitch right now. I'm just like, okay, I enjoyed it a lot. I don't want to go any further than that. You know what I mean?
I had a blast. Okay, so let me just say this first of all. Like, the thing I want to open with is in terms of a statement here. This film is one, and is without any spoilers, folks. Don't worry. This is one of the most immersive Star Wars experiences you will ever have.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I need to go back and watch it like 3 more times just to see all the crazy alien creatures in the background, all the Easter eggs, just stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Not to mention the world building, not to mention the mythology. That's the fun part about Star Wars, is that the plot is never really laid out for you. You kind of have to pick the plot out yourself. You kind of have to write the history yourself.
It's just right after the crawl, you're there.
Oh, yeah, totally.
You're there in the movie. It's this amazing thing. You're transported more than don't know. I'm not saying this film is better than the original trilogy, but don't know. It's still consistent with the original.
I think Episode 8 has the potential to be as good as an original trilogy film. I think they've set themselves up so incredibly well that Episode 8 is going to be an amazing movie if they play their cards right.
We'll see. But the point is just you are transported into the universe in a way you've never been. As great as the original trilogy is, like you're in the universe more than any other Star Wars film. It's undescribably beautiful. It's like it's the Kevin Smith experience. You are literally there.
Totally. I'll get to a minor nitpick right now, I guess. I don't necessarily think the planets outside of Jakku had much of a personality.
Well, okay, so bear in mind, folks, I don't think this is much of a spoiler mentioning our locations, right?
No, I don't think so.
So basically, we have 3 locations here, and I think these 3. The 4th one's kind of up in the air of like where it is exactly, but that's essentially a base, our hero base, let's say.
I wanted to see more of Jakku. I think Jakku, just the visual style of Jakku fascinated me. I thought we got off of it a little too quickly.
Now, Jakku is the planet in the trailer where we see our land speeder go over that beautiful shot of the submerged Star Destroyer. But so basically, we have Jakku, we have Tankadana, which I had to look up.
That's the thing.
It's kind of like a forest-like. It's like not Endor, but it's very reminiscent of Endor. I'll say that much about it. But it's it's kind of like this woodland planet, which is a good location. They're all great locations, bear in mind. And then we have our Star Killer base, which let's just say it's kind of our big end-all be-all location, and the location is very reminiscent of Hoth. So I think they all do a good job. Like, they're all different than those established planets. So they also capture various elements we liked about them. So it's kind of stimuli that we're familiar with, but it's a little twinge for the future added to it.
I guess so. I don't know. It just seemed to me like there was a little bit of a lack of creativity when it came to just like, oh, it's the forest planet again, and then it's the ice planet again.
And to be fair, again, the forest planet that's only the description I can really give for, because I mean, it was basically it feels a lot like a bar within a wooded area. It's what it feels like.
That's the thing. Outside of the awesome, Cantina-esque pirate lair that we get there, there's not really any defining features to the actual planet. It feels like just like if the Mos Eisley Cantina was like a standalone singular planet. You know what I mean? That was the problem I had.
Oh, by the way, I forget what I was saying. Basically, I think our hero base is within this planet too. But again, I've said too much already, but that's all I'll say about it.
Yeah, okay. So where should we go from here?
Okay, well, let me say again, what I'm really getting at, like the whole you are there immersive thing, and this is important. This is like something we can talk about, is that the thing I was most impressed by this film, that I would just rewatch this film many times for this ambiance alone. It's just you feel and hear the sounds in a way you've never heard them before. Like everything has an intensity, and like, you feel the force being used. You feel whenever the lightsaber, especially our bad guy's lightsaber, particularly, because again, it's an updated lightsaber. It's a created lightsaber. There's the most intense lightsaber for the dark side you've ever seen. It just has this power and this awe and terror whenever it's unsheathed and activated. That just will, Kylo Ren's lightsabers fill you with terror the minute it's activated. You know, it's just you hear this, like, it's like, again, it's that idea that looking at it, as we kind of speculate on the trailers, that it's kind of this potentially like an unfocused kyber crystal, like a really forced in there thing. That it's, let's just say it might be reflective of his character. We'll say that much about it in terms of that. But basically, just you can tell like it's a little destabilized, and the thing just to have like again, it's like kind of what we were getting at with our discussions too, is that it's unfocused power. You know, it's like the dark side is more powerful, but it's unfocused, and the Jedi, it's focused. Basically, it's like just it sounds and looks like just unwielded power. It's just like pure intensity and hatred and anger embodied in a lightsaber. And of course, with these outlets on the side there for like kind of the real King Arthur effect on it, which looks great.
Mhm.
But just the moments like that, of course, just like right from the beginning in our opening sequence, which is just a fantastic opening sequence, by the way. It has just these great sounds. Again, just put you there, and what really works with the sounds and the thing that just puts you there is that if I were to guess a percentage here, I'd say 80% of this movie is practically done.
Yeah, I think that's right on the money. And it's like everything from like we see the little space vultures and the robots and just like people in the makeup. It's so very lived in. The environments just have that, that aged quality to them that we really
I
missed in the
mean, it
prequels.
feels like they get the age thing definitely right here. Is that it feels 30 years
Totally.
from Jedi, and still futuristic, aside from just the kind of the cleaned up camera, of course. But it does feel like 30 years later in terms of like our old memories and locations and elements are still present, but in a state of decay or advancement.
Right, right.
And again, it's a very seamless and breathtaking just how the thing the prequels got wrong is that they didn't integrate things well at all. It was like there was little to no practicality with any props or set pieces at all.
There were no sets practically. That was the thing.
Exactly. I mean, here it's like you can tell like these are like was looking at, again, 80% of whatever you see on the screen is practical.
And then the CGI that is used, it's used within the context of a shot. It's not the entire shot.
Yeah, it's kind of a Nolan-esque thing. Like it's used when necessary, and within
Definitely.
Star Wars when you would need it. But otherwise, it's all practical in terms of like they're actually holding props, which is the most impressive. I know it sounds so simple, but it's something compared to the prequels that you need. You need the actors actually to hold the props and be walking on a floor instead of a treadmill.
Right, right.
Instead of a blue and/or green treadmill.
Oh god. Oh god. Okay.
So they don't have to walk when they're in a hurry. You get to see some actual running in this movie.
Yeah.
Running! Yeah. Which is important. So it's of course BB-8. Let's talk a little bit about BB-8. I think we were
Can I get to my initial reaction?
I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so like I said, I just went into this movie trying to keep my reactions as tightly guarded as I possibly could. I was just looking forward to the whole moment between A Long Time Ago and A Galaxy Far, Far Away and Star Wars, and then when we got that and the crowd went wild and everything, I was like, all right, let's see how the actual movie is. You know what I mean? It's like I got that ecstasy, I got that moment that I'll remember forever. I got that whole like fandom, this is a generation coming together for this one big event. I got that. I just need to know how the actual movie is. And a lot of the movie surprised me, to tell you the truth. And this is coming from someone who actually got pretty blatantly spoiled on some things because I couldn't damn help myself.
Okay, well, tell me how actually spoiled, without getting into specifics, like
I was pretty damn spoiled throughout the whole thing.
So there were moments that you knew were coming. I mean, at least
yeah, there were a lot of stuff. There was a lot of stuff that I knew was going to come.
Well, I think the smart approach was with the expectation. I think I followed this to an extent. I think it was basically go in knowing that it's not going to replace the original trilogy, but you should expect it to be a good follow-up to the trilogy. And with that in mind, I think I was very satisfied. I got everything I wanted with this thing.
Okay, but with the prequels, I mean, I'm sorry, with the spoilers in mind, in terms of my enjoyment of this movie, it was interesting because with the spoilers that I had, I formed a very clear kind of picture of what this movie was going to be, and this movie wasn't anything like what that picture was.
I was
understand what I'm saying?
I think so.
Where it's like even though like the general plot points that I knew about happened, they happened in such a way and they were executed in such a way that I totally like I couldn't have even put my mind around how they were going to do some of the stuff that they did.
I'll admit, some of the speculation kind of was like subconsciously eating away at me. Like, again, I'm not going to say who it is. I'm just going to say that, the identity of Kylo Ren just kept going. All the speculation around kept me guessing like who it was going to be. Like, it's not sticking to my guns. Like, usually in the past movies, like, there are other movies that kind of make me think, like, there's a big secret around who's who. You keep thinking, like, no, the director said it's not that person. Wait. But then, because with all the like Dark Knight Rises, you get moments like they tell you it's not going to be that person, it's not going to be him, not going to be that. Yeah, you don't know.
Of course, JJ got kind of caught with his hands down in terms of Khan from Into Darkness. So he's notorious for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
No, but just overall, I really enjoyed the movie. I thought BlueDragonFive, what do you think? I did like all the humor running throughout it. I just thought maybe at certain points it was a little much. I'll have to see it again, but that was kind of gnawing away at me when I saw it. I was like, okay, at certain points, this is kind of turning into just like almost Avenger style. Just everyone gets this cute little quip.
Well, I'll say it's two things. It's with that there are two reasons. It's not two reasons. It's two things. One, I think the humor is fine overall. I do, but I mean, I'll admit I see what you're talking about in terms of, like, I think the biggest kind of example is, again, without giving anything away, is that Finn has moments of comedy. He does. And sometimes it feels like he's given moments of comedy. It's like it's not as naturally integrated as the rest. But I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And two, and this is kind of like it's kind of a double thing here, is that it feels Guardians of the Galaxy-esque and the weird snake eating the tail that Guardians of the Galaxy-esque humor without the Star Wars.
Oh god, yeah, it's so weird. It's so
again,
weird.
It didn't bother me because I loved it in Guardians of the Galaxy, and because I love it in Star Wars, just kind of an offset of Star Wars, and now it's actually in Star Wars, so I'm fine with it.
I didn't really mind Finn. I thought John Boyega did a really good performance.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I love Finn. I'm just saying he had moments of comedy that felt like they're putting there to be moments of comedy. But again,
totally,
that felt part of his character.
To tell you the truth, the comedy that I did not like was anything where Kylo Ren was supposed to be taken in a comedic sort of fashion.
I disagree with you very much there with our First Order stuff.
Really?
I love the First Order comedy. That was some of the great comedy in the movie. But again, when we say
to me, it threw me off because Kylo Ren is like supposed to be this really intimidating, dark character, and then we've got like chuckles coming out of him.
Well, that's the thing. Whatever. First of all, when we say comedy, we don't mean like slipping on a banana peel or anything like that. We just mean,
of course not. Of course not.
We're talking like kind of Nolan-esque comedy in places.
Nolan has comedy.
Yes, Nolan has comedy.
Tell me more. No, I really don't. What comedy is in a Nolan movie?
I'm saying you get comedic bits in Batman Begins and The Dark Knight and Rises. You get bits throughout there.
You took my car.
Yeah, took the car, but also like all the Lucius Fox scenes.
All right, fair enough.
I'm saying there's that, but of course there's actually intended comedic moments. I'm just saying they're like it's clever humor in that regard. That's what I mean. Anyway, so with the First Order stuff, I think the reason it doesn't bother me at all with that stuff is that it's not taking away from our villain here with Kylo Ren. It's like it doesn't make him look bad. It's him being really cool and just people reacting to it.
Well, I do kind of differ with you there. I did think that people really, I don't know. We'll see. We'll get to it when we have our spoiler discussion.
Sure. Let me see. Finn. Yeah, I mean, I absolutely love John Boyega's Finn. I thought he was great.
I thought John. Okay, C-3PO had the best laugh of the whole movie.
Well,
would you agree with me?
Well, he had many great laughs in the whole movie. So,
but would you agree that one specific C-3PO moment was the biggest laugh of the whole thing?
Would you say his one of his early scenes?
Yes.
Like one of his really early scenes?
Yes.
Okay, I think we're on the same page. Yes, I wrote that's one of the funniest moments in the whole thing. Yeah.
Oh my god, it was just like classic C-3PO. I was like, yes, that is totally C-3PO right there. Oh my god. Okay.
Well, let's get to some of our characters we can kind of talk about without getting space. The biggest one we can talk about without any repercussions probably be BB-8.
Yeah, BB-8's really well handled. I like the fact that BB-8 doesn't have like a whole shit ton of screen time. I mean, he's there. He's a central part of the plot, but he's not like in every single shot of the movie. You know what I mean?
BB-8, let's say, is a fixture mainly of the. He's there throughout, but it was like kind of a space between the second half of Act 2 until like the end of Act 3. I guess would be an accurate description of his role. But I mean, he's mainly in Act 1.
Totally.
BB-8's kind of main thing is Act 1, but he's also around, so you get to see some cool BB-8 stuff on the side. He's there. And, BB-8 has a good role.
There's a lot of good physics with him, a lot of good character stuff.
Again, the practicality of this droid is breathtakingly astonishing.
I think how it kind of passes between owners is interesting.
Yes. I mean, there's great personality given with BB-8 without making him kind of trying too hard. It's natural. He's there. He's got some great loyalty to him. He does kind of like represent kind of next generation R2. Which, speaking of which, we should ask someone important, like what they thought of the film. So R2, you thought of that in the movie, huh? I think he liked it. I think he liked his role in the movie too.
I'm very tempted to talk about R2, but I feel like anything involving R2 is kind of a spoiler.
I think he agrees. So we're
all right. We'll hold on to that.
We're going to table our R2 talk for thing. But on the whole, though, I think BB-8 is kind of a neat succession to R2 for the first act of this movie in terms of like kind of what R2 would be doing in an average Star Wars movie.
Yeah, totally. Thank you, R2. Thank you.
But BB-8 he was fun. I think he's a good lead to have in this movie.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think we have time to go through all the main characters and everything, but do you want to just kind of...
Well, let me quickly... Poe Dameron was awesome. Let's just say that much about him.
Poe Dameron was great. I feel like he had a chunk of screen time where he was absent that wasn't really well accounted for.
True, but again, let's see. The big thing we should address, just outside characters for our money, would be like the opening sequence. Let's just kind of generally talk about the opening sequence here. I think that was a great way. The minute that whole opening sequence with this Kylo Ren's introduction and stuff.
It starts really, very slow. It's a good build.
Yes, it's a great build. I think it's a great opening sequence. And basically, by the end of that opening sequence, I was completely sold on the movie. Like, okay, this is exactly what I want. Keep going in this direction. I think it paid off. Because again, that opening sequence I thought was brilliant. Many levels. I think visual. Let me say this with the whole of this. I think this is probably one of the. This is a big statement. Not counting something like Inside Out. In terms of live action, I suppose this is probably the best directed film of this year.
The best directed film of this year.
Might be. At the very least, it's
2015.
It might be.
We have not seen Hateful Eight yet, so I would keep that in mind in particular.
Yeah.
But having said that, with the exception of Hateful Eight, I would say I'd be hard pressed to find a better directed film.
That's the thing. I mean, if basically visually and like every shot of this thing is beautiful. It's like, I mean, love it or hate it. I mean, you have to admit these shots are just so great. I mean, there's some great visual storytelling going on. There's a shot within the opening, and just like there are these three really great visual shots, which I won't get into specifically. Let's just say involve stormtroopers.
Right.
Basically, there's some great stormtrooper related shots in the opening here. Just communicates so much storytelling, and Kylo Ren's also involved, and it's a great sequence. So let me say this about Kylo Ren again. I think Kylo Ren's design is fantastic, and I love seeing his mask. And I love his design. I love how intimidating and Vader-esque his presence is, but it's a little plus from Vader in A New Hope. But it's just all the intimidation factor you have from Vader in '77, but now in a darker context.
Kylo Ren was a little bit of a disappointment for me.
I disagree, but we can't really say why I disagree.
I know. We can't at all. Oh God, I love his presence in the mask. I really love his presence.
Such a well-designed mask.
The mask. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get
in the mask.
I get what you're saying.
Awesome.
He was great in the Jim Carrey movie. I know that.
No. You know what I'm saying.
I know what you're
away. In the mask, his character is great.
I get it. I know what you're saying.
That's all I'll say.
Right. I think again, just the scenes in the mask are absolutely fantastic.
I'll agree with you. He had such a great demeanor. He had such a great that voice is terrifying.
It is. I mean, Kylo Ren has such a wonderful presence. Again, that's one of the. He's such a cool character, it really is. And of course, like peering beneath the mask, without giving anything away first. I'm just saying, beneath the mask, though, I think he still has really compelling. I think he has a compelling story that, again, let's just say, I think will feed into future films.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's a big secret that they're gonna axe off someone like Kylo Ren in the first movie.
No, I don't think so.
I think that one's pretty expected. You have a character that cool looking and iconic, with the exception of Darth Maul. You're not.
I mean, yeah, they could pull the Darth Maul thing, but that would piss off so many people.
It would. Again, all we kind of mentioned with Finn is, just Finn, as I mentioned, I was kind of sold on the idea in the beginning there to say, the Stormtrooper with the conscience is a great idea, and that's all I'll say on it. Just, Finn was great characterization.
Finn's got a great arc. He's got some really good comic relief bits. Yeah.
Yeah, again, I love all the opening sequence stuff involving Finn and our other characters too. They're just great.
Okay. I think Daisy Ridley is the star of this movie for sure. I think she's going to be the breakout.
Again, it's a co-lead thing with her and Finn. I mean, it's really, I want to say she's the lead, but I don't know, something. Let's just say because of the beginning, I can't really say that.
I would say she's the lead still.
I mean, let's just say she has a lot of importance, which the poster accentuates.
Just her whole journey, just discovering who she really is without actually knowing who she really is very powerful to me. Oh man, she was definitely the character I most related to in this movie.
I really did love Rey. I did, but let's just say kind of the flaw. Again, the thing is, there's a flaw with the movie. Which you get is the reason I say 9 out of 10. There is a overall flaw with kind of a majority of the plot points that is kind of the central flaw, but that flaw is not actually a flaw. It is kind of something you have to accept. It's kind of a hindsight issue, which I don't know how much I want to really get into this right now, but
is the flaw just the fact that it has a cliffhanger and everything, and not everything's explained?
There's some vagary in this.
I don't care. That cliffhanger, just left me just 2017 can't come sooner enough. Let's speculate the fuck out of everything.
Yeah,
Let's get out the whiteboard, just chart shit. Oh my god.
Okay, well here's the thing. It's not that only that. It's particularly the other things connected to that sort of stuff. There's some vague. Again, that's the thing. It's not a flaw necessarily. It's just it's something to. I had to accept. It's not a problem. It's just
I absolutely did not mind the open-endedness whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, basically, they all I'm saying is they're smartly taking their time. They're realizing we have other films. This is the part one of a three-part story we're telling here. Which again, it works fine. It's not an actual flaw, but I'm saying there are elements of it. So it's something to accept. Something we got to really talk about when the thing. It comes up there, but
there's a few characters in here, a few of the newer characters who only get maybe 5 minutes of screen time apiece.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But you know what? I feel like the same exact thing could be said about the original Star Wars trilogy. I mean, look at fucking Boba Fett. Look at how iconic Boba Fett is, and look how limited amount of screen time he got.
So
I'm sorry.
What?
Can I go? Can I finish?
Yeah, go.
I really do feel like we're going to be opening up the doors for these new characters. I feel like every new character that we did see, like Captain Phasma, I don't think it's a spoiler per se to say that she doesn't get a ton to do, but when she's there, she's a presence. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, and that's the thing. So let me just pick you back off that. So with Phasma and with the other, let's just say characters who don't have a lot of either have a lot of screen time or a lot of things to do per se. Again, it's
by the way, I'm sorry, really quick. Maz Kanata totally stole the show for me. I love that character.
Oh yeah, Maz Kanata.
That was the biggest surprise of the whole movie for me. How much I like that character. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But with those characters, I'm saying I'm sure that's where really harsh critics are really. I think that's the main criticism for this movie would be is that they're a little vague with the details on some of these characters. They don't get a lot of screen time. But again, that's the thing. They're smartly planning. They're introducing them and planning.
This guy's just doing a little dance in the corner. Because that's the thing. That's what the limited screen time characters reminded me of. They reminded me of this guy right here.
That's the thing. I mean, even that just saying that's the biggest flaw of the movie, which actually isn't a flaw, is that it's going to build upon these things. It's telling a story like like the big plan for 4, 5, and 6 was. It's kind of this overarching story, and that's what this is going for. So it's like it's a new experience we're getting used to. Is that we've never really had this thing where we know these other things are coming. An absolute that a trilogy is coming and all that stuff.
We know, I think at this point, everyone kind of knows that they're just going to be making movies. Like, it's not just going to stop at 9. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Also, I mean, then it kind of starts like a new trilogy, like a new 3-chapter story.
Exactly.
But, I guess what I'm also saying is that it's not just like we know trilogies coming. We know the Avengers probably going to be 3 movies, but that's them kind of planning on the potential for that. This is like an absolute that it will have 3 movies. They can take time, but basically we're all caught up in for this movie specifically, we're all caught up in the experience of it's going to be Star Wars returning again, so we're expecting all the answers to be solved, but not all the answers, like to be more definite, more kind of defined in the stuff, because we've just been waiting for so long. We're thinking right here and now, opposed to the longevity of it. So we're just getting used to that. That's what I'm saying. I think myself and the other people, we're just kind of getting used to that idea. So it's not a problem at all. It's like artistically and like kind of thematically, it works great for the story. It does for this chapter of the 3-part story. It's great and it works. And we'll get into details of that with spoiler stuff.
I don't think Star Wars would be what it is without those like ancillary characters that you can just like go nuts with fan fiction about their backstories and everything like that. You know what I think Star Wars needs characters like that.
Yeah, I'm saying is like look at what they did here in comparison to A New Hope, because A New Hope. They didn't exactly
A New Hope.
Sorry.
Okay.
New Hope. They didn't really know exactly. They didn't know they were coming back necessarily, because hence the Star Wars before the New Hope. There was a general idea there was more stories to tell here, and then once the trilogy gets off the ground, 2 goes well, we do 5 goes well, we do 6, and then you can close out that trilogy and do more in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the point. Like A New Hope was kind of destined to be a standalone first and foremost, and then because it went so well, there were more stories to tell.
Sure.
And here it's kind of the what they've learned later is that we can just take our time telling a widespread story and kind of building upon these strong characters. It's a new experience to get used to. That's all.
Now, one thing I will say about the spoilers, and of course, I'm not going to give you guys any spoilers yourself. We'll be doing a good spoiler cast. Just saying, I was spoiled myself walking into this. But literally, BlueDragonFive, all the spoilers that I got were just sort of things that I could have gleaned from the actual, like, Joseph Campbellian hero's journey storytelling that Star Wars in general has. And that's one of the things I think I respect about just, I feel like the Joseph Campbell stuff is like really well represented here. I think we're just going in bold new directions, but we're keeping the same sort of structure of having this, grand overarching mythology behind everything.
Hmm.
Okay. Let's see. Anything else? Anything else that we haven't touched on yet?
Well, the thing is, I don't know if we should really talk about Han Solo or not.
Well, yeah, we could talk about Han Solo.
Han Solo, let's just say what we pick up with him, or where we would like to pick up with him from. He's still up to his shenanigans as per usual, which is fun.
I think Chewie has some of the best laughs of the movie, which is very, very, very appropriate.
Chewie's a lot of fun.
Chewie's great. I don't think anyone is going to be let down by Chewie's role. He's got a lot to do.
Yeah. I mean, Chewie just kind of reminds us. Just seeing Chewie interact with our new characters is also great too. It's a blast.
I want to see this movie again, man. I want to see this movie again just for Chewie. Seriously,
I want to see like 5 more times, but I do.
I know. It's like I'm totally gonna see this at least once or twice more.
Again, that opening just instantly sells you with these great shots, and it opens the door. Just give me more. More Star Wars. Like it's addicted the whole world. Star Wars. J.J. Abrams. It's a great thing J.J. Abrams succeeded with this movie, because what would happen if he failed? They would have called him Jar Jar Abrams.
Oh no! Oh God.
They would have plagued him with Jar Jar Abrams. It's true. People would have plagued him with Jar Jar Abrams.
Okay, well, thank God that didn't happen.
Thank God that didn't happen. This is seems to be a hugely fantastic success. It's looking to keep throwing.
Okay. No, Han himself, I mean, it's great to see him back. Harrison Ford is absolutely, it feels like, it doesn't just feel like Harrison Ford is like, oh, okay, I'm going to be Han Solo again. It's more like he's acting Han Solo as if it's an older and wiser Han Solo, and he's putting in the chops to go along with it.
Oh, yeah.
Carrie Fisher, I got to admit, there was something a little funky going on with her accent.
Well, that's always been, she always went between the British and the regular.
Yeah, I know, but here it was like really noticeable, and it kind of took me out of it, and I didn't want it to be that way because I loved all the stuff she was in, but it was just a minor little nitpick I just had.
I didn't pick up on it.
Bad.
I didn't pick up on it this time around because, again, I think you probably got used to it from the other movies.
But that's the thing with me, is that it sounded like, to me, she sounded different than she sounded in the other movies. That's what was kind of bothering me. It sounded like her British accent got thicker. I don't know.
I got to rewatch it just to kind of determine the accent thing. But
yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, I guess maybe some final thoughts.
Yeah, sure. Final thoughts.
So let me say this. I just think that the what I was hoping for this movie actually surprisingly came true, in that it is kind of a combination of many elements from the original trilogy. It's primarily a lot of it is New Hope in terms of Star Wars back again, the beginning of a new trilogy, kind of our introductions to characters. A lot of New Hope in this movie. There's visuals and tones of Empire Strikes Back, which is fantastic, really.
Totally.
And of course, there's some great follow up in world building of Jedi in there too. Like there's kind of this great sense of exploration and characters of evolution of characters. So it really is this great kind of combo of 3 movies, but again, it's its own story. It's like kind of picking up with our new characters in the Star Wars universe. So it doesn't cease to be its own continuation or story, but it is firmly within the universe of Star Wars with everything we love about it. So basically, I think we got everything we love about Star Wars gleamed at in this movie in a great way.
Okay, I'm going to hit you with like one of the criticisms this movie's been receiving that I very much disagree with as my final thought. A lot of people have just basically been saying like, oh, this is like J.J. Abrams just remaking A New Hope. And I'm like, no, like not at all. First of all, I think maybe like the first act, maybe. There is some stuff with the Starkiller base. I think the Starkiller base, not enough was done with it to separate it from the Death Star. I think the whole idea of it being attached to a planet wasn't really dealt with enough as it could have been. But, that's just all the things that really matter about this movie matter in terms of like all the stakes that are going on within the characters, and just the world building, the mythology building, setting the stakes up, setting the scene for the next episode. And I think with that, it just accomplished things greatly. I do not think this is just like, I think fucking Star Trek Into Darkness is just a straight up bad movie. And I think it's a ripoff of Star Trek 2. That's exactly what I was afraid of with this movie. That was like my biggest fear with this movie, was that it was going to be just solid fan service, but still just blatant fan service nonetheless. And I don't think we got this. I think we got a really, really smart, really well-constructed story here that's going to stand the test of time, that's going to really hold up there and be this definitive new chapter in Star Wars. And with that, BlueDragonFive, like you said, it also just kind of takes all the best elements of Star Wars, but plays around with it, makes it its own. Star Wars is a toy box, all right? And I think this movie is like the best fucking like little kid playing with his Star Wars toys on screen that we've ever seen, if that makes any sort of sense.
Oh yeah.
All right, I think that just about covers it. What do you say?
I think R2 is going to say it better than I could. Well, how can I argue with that? How can we both argue with that? Come on.
All right. Thank you, folks. Thank you, folks. And may the Force be with you, and so on and so forth.